y'all have disrespected me to the point of like no return. So as where Kiki was never, that was always a certain we would never be friends. But like
What's going on, guys? Thank you guys for tuning in to 8 Connection TV. Subscribe, baby. Also, check out my two new channels, 8 Connection TV 2 and ACTV Games. When you go through those channels, subscribe and don't forget to ring that bell.
How's your day been?
cool, my brace tight, much sore.
Oh, okay. Well, you look gorgeous.
Thank you.
So we're gonna start this off. It's the first set of questions is what I have to ask you, and then it picks up with part two. So that's what we'll end. So it won't be another 2 hour situation. Okay. But for those of you that are tuning into this particular interview, we did this interview 2 days ago, but there was an electrical surge in this house and the footage got lost. So there's going to be two parts to this interview. Right now, Seven has agreed to do part one again, so thank you for that. And the first question that we had for the interview is, can you explain your name and where it derives from? Seven Craft.
So my name is Seven because me and my older sister are 7 years apart. My mom thought that 7 years was a big gap to go back and have children, so she stuck me with a number name, and the rest of them got regular names.
Got you. Okay. Also, people want to know your ethnicity.
You guys asked me like 5,000 times on Periscope, on live, what my ethnicity is. I am white and I am black. There is some extra stuff in there, like Irish. There's some Dominican in there somewhere that just popped up. There's a bunch of stuff in here, but my parents are black and white. My dad is white and my mom is black.
So let's just say that this resulted in a beautiful young lady, because you're gorgeous. And I want to piggyback a little bit that I didn't ask you 2 days ago, but I don't know if you remember, but Mona Simone, my character that I created, was coming for the promo picture when it first came out.
Picture was dead wrong, but I seen when you did that, I was like,
it looked nothing like you.
I said, who is that? No, when I seen them at the reunion, I let they ass have it. They told sometimes when we edited, we might have wanted this face on this pose. Don't fucking do that and do not put me back the way you found me.
Yes, I was like, who is this girl?
Who is that?
Okay. So, how old are you now?
I am 23. Well, I'll be 23 in August.
Okay, so you're a Leo.
I'm a Virgo.
Oh, okay. Well, I was about to say congrats, but because I'm a Leo, so yeah.
Yeah, right on the middle. I'm on the 26th of August, so apparently I'm on some funny imbalance thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a Virgo baby.
Okay. Are you still in the East Coast?
I am all over the place now. You know, y'all watching my booking so closely.
Right.
Watch that, but.
Right.
I'm all over the place now, but yes, I'm still living on the East Coast.
Okay, so how did you hear about BGC? Did you watch BGC in the past? Are you an avid watcher?
I grew up watching BGC. I probably faithfully watched it from season 1 up until about season 9 is when I stopped watching after that ended. So I was a BGC fan for a long time. You go back some old tweets, you'll see me talking my shit too. But yeah, I love the show from like day one. And actually, there was this altercation that had happened with an ex-boyfriend. So one of my friends was like, bitch, your crazy ass needs to do this show. And I'm like, hell no. When I seen how many questions needed to be answered. So my cousin did the questions for me. And then a couple weeks later, I was getting an email from producers. So I'm like, oh shit, look what y'all done did.
Right. Okay, so let me tell you, the last 7 seasons out of the 17 seemed to be a bit repetitive with what a lot of the girls were bringing to the table. You had the jumper host syndrome, you had the follower syndrome, you had the throw the mattress in the pool syndrome. It was a lot of repetitive things. So what did you think that you would bring to season 17 that would be remotely different?
Honestly, I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I wanted to show a different type of bad girl. You know, like a bad girl doesn't have to be messy. She doesn't have to be a slut. She doesn't have to be an instigator. She can be real because I don't think we saw that many like real raw bad girls. You know, we probably could count on one hand
Right.
how many like real deal bad girls there were. So I just wanted to show something different. Like, and most of the pretty ones were always like really slutty. You know, I just wanted to show you can be classy, but you can also turn up and slap a bitch if you need to. Yeah.
As she goes like this, okay. So you get the call, you're on the show, you're excited, you're about to figure out what this is all going to be like, and they put you on the roof. And they put you on the roof for which seemed to be like 3 weeks until the girls finally came up. Can you explain that whole situation and how that went down?
I was literally on that cold ass roof for like an hour. No lie, I had to be up there for like a good 45 minutes. I was freezing, number one. But then I'm like, you know, I'm sitting there covered in the blanket. I'm chilling, and I hear bitches coming up the steps. I'm like, oh shit, here they come. I threw that blanket to the side, and I stood up like, let me show them. Yeah, I made it an entrance. I like that they saved me for last, though, even though I had to sit up there cold. You know?
So what was your first thought of the girls when they came up? Because it seemed like you was over it. Was you over it because of the cast, or were you over it because you being on that roof?
I wasn't over it, but that's just like when I'm meeting new people, that's like my, you know, I'm kind of like, hey, y'all. But I had to like, I'm looking at them like, you know, my hands are trying to say hi, my mouth is trying to say hi, but my mind is like, let me go ahead and see what's up with these bitches now. Yeah, I thought like when I first saw Susan, I was like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. Yeah, I kind of just was like going through, just looking at them. That's why it seems like I kind of was like, what's up?
Right. Okay. So what did you think about the whole East Coast versus West Coast? And did you know about this particular concept before you got on the show?
So I knew what it was going to be, and it actually was supposed to be East meets West. Like, we're meeting each other. It just ended up being versus. Well, it really didn't end up being that either, but that's if I took it and ran with that. I thought it was, you know, when I first saw it, I was kind of like, oh, this is pretty stupid. You know, people got killed over this, but whatever, you know.
Right. I mean, Biggie, Pac. I mean, right.
It's been like this is Biggie and Pac.
Right. So let's talk about this terrible ass house you lived in, girl. What was going on? I think they saved the worst for the last season.
I thought they thought they were being creative, and it wasn't. And if you notice, after they find me on the roof, you pretty much don't see me for the rest of the time. That's because when they were showing me around the house, my face was like, what the fuck is this? And I literally was saying out of my mouth, to the point where they had to call on the phone, like, we're filming, like, can you not? I'm like, hell no, what is that shit? I was pissed. Ooh, I was pissed.
That house looked like a hallway attached to a garage.
It was a garage.
So when you initially get in the house and you see the house, were there any link-ups automatic, like instant connections that you had with girls or that you saw girls have with each other?
Yeah, they were connecting like instantly, and then there was me. Like, I was kind of just watching everybody. I watched Susan and Sayor click up. I watched Key and Kiki vibe out. Not quite. Deshayla wanted, you know, it to be me and her, but I kind of, you know, when I first meet people, I give me a minute. I'm gonna warm up to you in my own time. So yeah, it was kind of weird watching them like so easily, like I'm kind of like, I don't know y'all bitches.
So you wasn't one of those girls like, yeah, we're in the house, yeah, we're.
So what I gave, I wasn't even gonna, no lie, like no shade, because I did hug him, but I wasn't gonna hug him. You saw I got like two hands, and I was like this, like yeah. And they start coming for hugs, and I'm like, okay, you can't be like, don't hug me, because then you got to start beating all these bitches up on the roof.
So the first night, Susan starts some interesting drama, whatever we are gonna call it, with telling Sayora about her marriage situation. And then Sayora tells everybody about it. Can you give us your thoughts about this particular night?
It was messy as shit. It set the tone for my relationship with Sayor, because I was right there in the beauty room when she told her. I was sitting there doing my makeup. They just didn't move the camera over. I didn't go run and tell the whole house. I didn't feel it was necessary. So it set the tone of my, like, how I felt towards, like, any possible relationship we could have had. It was deaded at that point because it's like, oh, shit, I know I can't tell you anything because you're telling everybody. And I was right there. I didn't say anything. It wasn't my business, you know? I'm the type of person, you could be green, blue, orange, yellow. I don't care what you are or what you do. As long as it doesn't affect what I do, it's not a problem.
So did you at all, like, when you heard Susan say this, did you ever have a conversation with her like, girl, you really want to be saying that on national TV? Like,
I literally looked at her when Sayora left the room and I was like, I think that you should probably, like, tone it down. She'll tell you, I was telling her, like, you fucked up, like, Before she even told anybody, I was like, you gotta watch what you say. We don't know these bitches.
right. Why do you think the whole house was blaming Ciara? Like, when people watch it, you would think that because it's on national TV, the world already knows. So Ciara telling the other people in the house is not that big of a deal. But why do you think the whole house was like, Ciara, Ciara, Ciara?
And they weren't. Everybody was against Susan. It was me more so that was like, you know, that had to let them know, like, what about her? Because, yes, it was going to get out to the whole world. But in the same breath, it's kind of like, if this was real life, this shows me how you are in your real life. If this was real life and this was something that would have never gotten out, you would have made sure that you told everybody, you know? I was always taught to shoot the messenger, you know? Why? Yes, the girl's married. Why do y'all care? Are you married? No. Do you have to cheat on your husband? No. So why does it matter? However, y'all should be more concerned about the fact that because she was only trying to do it to make friends, you know? Like, maybe if I take them some tea, it'll bond me closer to them. And it did. It almost worked for her until I caught it, you know? I presented it to the girls in a different way. Like, y'all so concerned that the bitch married. Who cares that the bitch is married? The problem is that we can't commit a crime in front of this one.
Okay. It seemed like you and Sayora had a little flirtatious kind of vibe going on. What was going on with that?
Always flirting with me, yeah. Sayora wanted to sleep with me. Nothing ever happened between me and Sayora. I know a lot of stuff has been left out. It's a lot of stuff y'all didn't see. You didn't miss that. It never happened.
There was no kiss in the jacuzzi. There was no twat touching.
It probably was like a kiss on like a pack, but not like, you know, how I kissed Shay in that promo, no.
Oh, yes. Okay.
You know.
So after Sayora was blasted, you know, for gossiping about you know, Susan's marriage situation, it seemed like the whole house shifted, and it was kind of like, we don't like Sayora, we're against Sayora, and a lot of that heat and energy came from Kiera to Sayora. What do you think? Like, what do we not know about why that energy was so high?
You know, there's so much that was left out this season. Her mouth, pretty much, because of the way her mouth was, I don't think there was an ass whooping she really didn't deserve besides the last one. And after that one, I had to talk with Key like, yo, at this point, like, wash your hands with it. You keep picking on that girl, and it's pointless. But her mouth was very, 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 you know, it made you want to really, like, sock her in the mouth sometimes.
When you say her mouth, you're talking about Sayora?
Yeah, Sayora's mouth was really slick. Yeah, she had that mouth could move. So, yeah, I think that pretty much every ass whooping, I don't think any of them were undeserved. I just think that the last one, the one where they had on the red and she got hit across the face, the one I tried to stop, I think that was a little unnecessary. But I let her know that, like, yo, you need to make this the last time. You can't keep doing this. Leave the girl alone.
Right. Okay. There were a couple times where we saw, like, Kiana, for example, and it was a couple times when we saw Kiera say that they didn't necessarily agree with what Susan was doing in her marriage, but then it was like they put the blame on Sayora and was trying to be cool with Susan. Can you elaborate on how that was working out?
You know, I think a lot of that was them watching my relationship with Susan. They left out so much, and me and Susan probably had one of the most tight-knit relationships so early on. We were super close. I used to sit around like while they would be up on the roof dissing her. You notice you didn't see me right there. I would go get Susan out of bed like, you ain't about to sleep all day, girl. Get up. Like, come on, let's go. You know, we sit in the bed and we talk, or we go upstairs and play around and shit. But I think they saw our relationship coming around, and then it kind of got to the point where, okay, if I'm around and y'all are talking about Susan, y'all can't. So it was stuff like that, I think. And then once like Key and Deshayla got to really know who she was as a person, because I sat down with them, I'm like, y'all keep judging this one situation, but this girl done been through a lot of shit. Like, so yeah, once I kind of started coming around to it, then it made everybody a little more interested in seeing what was so intriguing for me, because I barely would talk to any of them, you know?
Right.
So, but why would she lay so close to Susan all day or be right with Susan all day? Yeah, I think everybody wanted to know more once they saw her coming out of her shell, because I was pulling her out of her shell a lot.
Okay. The first 2 episodes, as I'm watching this, and everybody knows that I review this show as my character Mona, the first 2 episodes that I saw, it seemed like they were really giving you like the narrator role in the post-confessionals, because something would happen and then you would speak about it, but it would be like some real shit. You were saying like some truthful shit, especially when Susan came out and spoke about the marriage. You were like, girl, you shouldn't be telling nobody your business like that. You don't know these girls. And it gave me the impression that you're kind of that person that sits back and watches what's going on, and then you can critique what's happening. Where does that come from in your upbringing?
You know, I grew up a little differently. I grew up in the hood and, you know, in places where you have to be like that. I was always taught the best way to walk into a situation. Can you hear what that thing go?
I hear you. Yeah. What is that?
It's the sump pump. It's raining, so the pump has to move.
Oh, gotcha. No, I hear you.
Okay. So that observing quality that I had, it comes from like growing up in tougher neighborhoods, we moved a lot when I was young, so having to move and then meet a lot of people. You know, I did hang around the wrong crowd of friends at one point, and I was doing a lot of things that I normally wouldn't do. But yeah, I was always told to sit back and observe and then make a move. Sit back and watch, because at that point, the first 30 minutes in the house, I called every personality, and I was extremely correct. Like, I called every personality from the beginning. So I think that put me in a good position to move around. And yeah, I was narrating really good in the confessionals, but these were things like, them bitches can say what they want. This was stuff I was saying to them. Like, they just didn't show that I was saying it to them, you know? I was letting their ass know, like, why y'all care about this? That day on the roof where they only showed me narrating that part, I said that right there on the roof. I'm like, well, why do y'all care so much about her being married and don't care about this one telling everything? And then there was just like this awkward silence about it, but whatever. But yeah, it comes from just like where I grew up. I had to fight a lot. I had to do a lot of things. So I know now, you know, to get a hold of an enemy, sometimes you got to sit and wait.
So I want to step outside of the interview real quick and acknowledge something. You know, living in the world today, society always bases things off of stereotypes. And you just stated that you have a hood upbringing. And when I look at you, I don't see the stereotypical hood girl. So it could be one of those situations where somebody try to test you like, oh, this girl don't know how to fight. This girl.
High school. Oh my God. High school was so terrible, you know, because I was going from different neighborhoods and stuff. So I was always a new phase. One place would get used to me and then like boom, oh, now she here. But this has been like where I've been for the longest. But high school definitely prepared me for that. You know, those bitches, they used to pick on me. Then I used to get up and start knocking bitches upside their head, and nobody was picking with me, you know? Even like when I first stepped out on the scene, like the club scene here in DC, them bitches used to be hating like shit. So I opened my mouth. I think that my mouth is probably a little bit of like my voice is a little, it's like, people be like, what the hell, that girl? She look like that, but she talk like that. So between my mouth and my hands, I think, you know, it carries me a long way.
Who inspires your style? Or where do you get inspiration from for your style?
You know, I really don't know. And everybody always says, like, you have such a unique style, but really I don't think it's that unique. I don't know. I'm white and I'm black. So some days you might, see me looking more like a rock star, and then other days you might see me looking more, I don't really know. Like, I always get that question, like the girls when they first meet, they're like, "You're so stylish," and I'm like, I've never heard that. But what do you think it looks like? I don't know. What it looks
I don't know. My only word for it is pretty.
Thank you, but I don't really know.
Okay, so let's get back in the house. How in the hell did you and Kiera become so close?
Okay, so here's where that observant personality my quality came in. I watched her, and me and Kiera at first we moved with each other like two lions. We always teased each other about it. We moved like how lioness when they see each other, they move and they sniff each other. But we did it with a lot of respect because I think we both sensed that it's something. I felt something about her, but I just needed her to like get away from the wrong people and really like we get time to have one-on-one. It was this one time where, her and Kiki must have been having a conversation about me, something that I did before I got on the show. And Kiki was like, "No, I didn't mean it in that way. I didn't say nothing negative about it." And she looked at her and she was like, "Okay, you my friend and all, but you not being real right now. Like, yes, you did. You was up here talking shit." So I looked at her. I'm like, "Oh, I like this little bitch. She keeping it real." Because that's all I was like. I'm a very real person. I don't care what the fuck nobody say about how I was on the show. You can't deny that I was real. So when I meet real people, that's what I click to. So that's how that happened. And she showed me that she was real. And that's all I needed in a friend.
Okay, makes sense. Why do you think Kiana became so cool with Sayora after all of the drama? And is this when you started to dislike Kiana?
I really started to dislike her, like, pretty much from the very beginning. I didn't like what she was doing to Susan. Like, I felt like because Susan was so quiet and she came off like she was a punk, she took advantage of that moment. Because, like, she wouldn't do that with me. She wouldn't do that with Key. Like, she could have arguments with people, with one of us, and it'll be a very peaceful argument. But, like, you argue with Sayora, you pushing her or punching her, you arguing with Susan, you city bumping her, you this close to her face. That's not my type of person. That's not my type of person at all. So it kind of came in from, like, day one when I called that personality.
Okay. How do you think, what was your thoughts when she started to become cool with Sayora?
I really didn't care. It was kind of like, y'all probably blend better than anybody else in the house, so cool. Because she portrayed that she was more like me and Key in the beginning. But really, she's more like friend and Say. Like, me and Kiera really bonded because of our upbringings, where we grew up. We grew up very similar. We grew up, in very real, raw places. And I think the rest of them kind of grew up a whole lot different than we did, which is why it was harder for them to understand our personalities.
Got you. Okay. So, Bad Girls Club seems to have two words, well, quite a few words that's synonymous with Bad Girls Club. But one is jumper hoe and one is flip flopper. So, in every season, you have the fans say, "Oh, she's a flip flopper. Oh, she's a flip flopper." How does that work, the whole flip-flopping madness? Because one day, y'all are cool. One day, y'all hate each other. Then y'all are cool again, going to the store. Then y'all hate each other, y'all fighting at the club. What's going on?
You know what it is? We're locked in the house for 2 months straight. No phone, no TV, no music, no nothing. We really are trying to build bonds in there. Like, we really were trying to get along. Even Kiki, like, she had such a dope personality in real life. However, it's that little shit that she does that I can't deal with. But it's hard, It took more energy and more stress. It was a very stressful environment already. But it was way more stressful when we were all trying to kill each other, So even though I flip-flopped the least, because it got to a certain point, I was like, fuck y'all bitches. It ain't no coming back, It definitely was like, it's hard. We were like a little family in there. We were away from our home, so we just got over it some days. It might have took longer, then it exploded, but we really became like a little dysfunctional family.
Got you. Okay. So, why do you think Kiera was so angry? She came across so angry in like the first the whole season, but the first 3 to 4 episodes, I'm like, why is she so angry? She flipping out about macaroni in a drawer. She's so upset. Did you have any kind of conversations that we did not see in the first beginning days about her anger, especially with the macaroni in the damn drawer?
Absolutely. There was a lot of conversations that they didn't show between me and Key. Me and Key were butting heads a couple of times, but we always wanted to remember that we were friends at the end of the day whenever we got too mad at each other. But yeah, we used to have conversations because I used to have to tell her, like, yo, you gotta chill out. Like, it's not that serious. But in the same breath, I couldn't talk because there was so much I didn't see. I was in there flipping out some days, like breaking TVs and shit and doing all kind of crazy shit. So that's where the push and pull comes. She was like, but you can't talk because you crazy. But I'm like, but you're like unnecessarily. So I let her know when some stuff was like just too much. But of course they don't want to show that type of stuff. But yeah, I definitely had to let her know a few times, like, yo, you got to chill out. But I think the bigger problem is editing. They didn't show how fun she was. She wasn't a negative Nancy the whole time. She was really fun. And a lot of the coming back together was her a lot of the times. Like, she would say something funny and all the girls would laugh, like, but they just chose not to show that.
Okay. There was a point where Kiana got bored with the house, or at least that's what she was saying on TV. She was bored with the house. There was nothing to do. And so she decided to rub her booty on Susan's bed, which caused a huge conflict and a huge ruckus. And then, she had a tumble on the floor because Susan put her on the floor. What do you remember about that night and that fight?
So I remember being up on the roof and I took Susan up there because this when everybody really wasn't feeling her. But I'm like, girl, you can go where you want in this house. So come on, we're going to the roof. She really didn't want to go up there. So we go up there and there's like this whispering going on. So I'm like, what the fuck is so funny that I'm missing? Because now I think y'all been just playing with me. So they like, no, we got something to tell you. Just like, put the pussy under the. So I'm like, everybody else laughing. I'm like, that's not funny.
Right.
And Susan's like, what? So I get up and walk away because I'm like, you know what? This ain't funny no more. Like, y'all bitches is just, y'all laughing because what? That shit ain't cute. So we get in the elevator and they didn't show. I don't know why they didn't show. I told her she rubbed her pussy on your bed. And we went from there. I just remember being excited. I remember telling her, like, yo, at what point? She done lit lighters by your eye. She done did all this stuff to you. At what point is enough enough? She's going to keep doing it if you don't do something. You need to do something about it. And she did. I say I was very proud of her. I was proud. I was so proud of her. I was like, yeah.
Do you think this is...
I knew she had it in her.
Yeah. Do you think this is when the divide in the house happened? Because it seemed like after the fight, Kiana then broke off to the other side of the house, and then it was just you, Kiera, Susan, and Deshayla versus the other side of the house.
No, absolutely. I do think that that's when the divide happened because everybody saw what I saw with Kiki. Everybody was calling her bluff. You had been talking shit since the day you walked in. Her personality went from Kiera to friend. She was the bad bitch of the house. Like, she wanted to really play that role. So when everybody saw that she wasn't that, it kind of it took everybody back. Because it's like, oh, you've been talking all this shit and you ain't even about that shit. So yeah, it kind of threw everybody off.
Were you at any point ever jealous of Kiana's and Kiera's friendship? And did you have a handle in breaking that friendship up?
Do I look like the type to be jealous of anything? Like, no, seriously, no. I would never be jealous. I always told Key, like, y'all could be friends. I don't care. However, you'll see what I see. And I barely told her because I'm not the type. I won't tell you anything. You'll see for yourself. And either I'll decide, how I want to move with you after that. Just don't rub me in the wrong way. Don't rub me the wrong way in the meantime and trying to find out for yourself.
Do you understand why Susan had hit her boiling point before she exited the house? Because, she grabbed a comb. She was ready to stab chicks. What do you remember about that night? And did you have any conversations with her?
Susan they were torturing us. They did not show y'all, but after the first fight in the beauty room, we were all told, like, yo, if y'all fight, argue, so that's it. Fight again, y'all getting out. Like, that's
Oh,
about it.
really?
It's no more. Yeah, especially me because I went from breaking TVs to, I put all my rings on. I got the whole house rings taken away because I put all my rings on. Like, okay, bitches want to run up. I'm about to show y'all how we really do it where I'm from. So it kind of got to a point where it was just like, they were like, we can't have this. It's getting ready to get too real in here. But they were torturing us. They would get drunk and fuck with us and then wake up the next morning sober. Like, oh, but that was last night, bitch. That was less than 24 hours ago. So, like, that night when Susan did the comb, they came home drunk. They went right up to the roof. Somebody on the roof put a battery in their back. It probably was the instigator of the house. Because then all of a sudden, they came down talking trash. Fran was telling me how she was going to pop the implants in my butt. Mind you, all this ass is real. They were saying I was fucking Future. They were literally picking, our rooms, that trashy ass thing. Our rooms were right there from the next room over. They were literally torturing us. So when you saw me sitting on that stool, I was sitting on that stool because I had just said, yo, I dare y'all walk out that room. That's all I'm going to say. Walk out. Y'all know I can't fight y'all. I had them de-mic me and everything. I ain't had no mic on at that point. So all I said was, walk out the room. I dare y'all. I'm not supposed to be fucking touching y'all, but if you walk out that room, I'm going to beat y'all ass. Susan was more than like she was more already over the edge because the stuff they were saying to me, what's your butt fake, you fucking Future, neither of those things are true. They were saying stuff like, oh, did your husband die after she just had a serious death? So yes, that was like bad. She was really going to stab that girl. Everybody making jokes out of the meme, but she really walked up into that room and just staying there. But I know Oxygen don't be wanting to catch no lawsuits, so they held that part back.
Got you. Okay, when Fran found her voice and started to speak up and started to assert herself with Kiera and see, what was going through your mind with her becoming quote unquote a bad girl?
Shut the fuck up. Because half the time you wasn't even right. Just like with the gerbil comment, nobody was talking about you.
Right.
Nobody was addressing you. We were literally having fun for once in that house. And you had to, it was like you were asserting yourself at the wrong times because you wasn't asserting yourself when she was lighting lighters by that girl eye or rubbing her pussy on her back, torturing her for that many days. Then you want to assert yourself because you feel like, shut the fuck up. That's all I can say about it. Just like the whole world felt. I think it was like a million shut the fuck ups for her by the time the season finished.
Do you think that's where Deshayla's aggravation toward Fran came from?
Absolutely. Because I told them, like, y'all not, I had a soft spot for Fran. So I told them, like, Key, you're not fighting Fran. I'm not fighting Fran. Like, I honestly didn't want anybody to touch her because I liked her. So I figured, like, okay, go ahead, throw the small, like, we could let the small one take that one. Because I don't want to touch her because I know what I'd do to her if I touched her, you know? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it was annoying as fuck. I didn't know she was spit on the girl, though, you know?
Right, I was about to say, because, you know...
I didn't know that. She came in the beauty room and she mugged me. She mugged the both of us. She was like, she was walking around the house mugging us, stomping past us, all kind of shit.
Really?
Yeah. So she came in the beauty room and she mugged me. She did just like this to me. So I said, Shay, go fuck her up. So that's how it like kind of initiated. But I ain't
really? I thought she
gotta be lit enough to have your young niggas go ride for you. You know, that's like how I did my sister's like, oh, I don't want to touch this, but you go beat that bitch up.
I thought she fought Fran because she asked permission from her mother.
That too. It was me and her mom both told her she could.
Wow. So if she would have spat in your face, what would have happened?
I would have killed that bitch.
I don't know. That has to be one of the worst things you could do is just literally talk until you sit. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then like that's what I was most scared of. I'm like, oh no, y'all bitches in here turned up for these cameras. If y'all do something like that to me trying to be entertaining, I'm going to jail from this house.
So a lot of people were putting under my comments on the reviews when this whole fight broke out, and then all the girls came in like, "What's going on? What's going on?" They put out the word "jump a hole," and it was kind of like was Seven trying to get in on Fran? What was going on? What was going on? And then you end up fighting Kiana, And then all of a sudden you pull her in a different room, like a closet or something, and then you come out and your hands hurt. So can you describe that situation?
So I was never trying to jump in with Briana and Deshayla. Honestly, the fight wasn't that good to jump in. Yes, she landed on top of Deshayla, but they really weren't. These bitches be swinging with their hands open.
Right.
And then Brian's face came out more fucked up still. So the fight, I just was watching, just like I do every fight, but I'm making sure I get a good view so I can see it. So I know what's going on. The fight was stupid. That's probably the dumbest fight we had in the whole house. But yeah, so then Fran walks out the room. I guess she's pumped because she just had her first fight. And she stopped at me and Susan and put her finger in my face like, y'all ready? I gave one rule. I don't do fingers in my face. I don't do none of that yelling this close to my face. When you get this close, I'm going to hit you because I don't know what you're going to do to me. I got bad reactions as a child from like fingers in my face and then getting knocked upside my head. So don't put your finger in my face. So I slapped the finger out of my face. Like, don't put your finger in my face, bitch. Then she picks her foot up off the floor and kicks me. Like, who does that? Like, real live Kadu kicked me. Like, this was Mortal Kombat or some shit. So I'm like, okay, Ben, I don't want to fight you, so I'm just going to slap you upside your head. So that's where that part came in when you kind of see me like, boop. Then something told me to look to the side. I'm like, hold on. I saw, you see something out the corner of your eye.
Right.
Like, I know I'm not tripping. Okay, so I see something out the corner of my eye, and I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, my reflex, my heart, honestly, like, I was in fear, I'm not going to lie, because I'm like, damn, this is the one thing I said I wasn't going to let happen on national TV. Some bitches try to jump me, and then I had to kill them. So I just turned around like, fuck Fran. I could be her any day. Let me hurry up and get this one going quick. So when she hit me, I was just like, just grab her, just like, whoop, whoop, whoop. So when we go on the second part, security now has me up in the air because they can't get me, like, off of her. So we're both standing, but, like, she's down and I'm up. So I'm swinging.
Elevation.
Right, I had that elevation, which is where that bruise came from on my arm and stuff because I ended up, like, kicking on walls and, because I didn't want to let go. And she got a hold of my clip-ins and, she enjoyed that. But, yeah, no, it was real behind that while I was swinging. That's all it was. And which is how my right hand ended up getting messed up because I guess somewhere in between swinging, I heard security saying, you're hitting me. I heard, I don't know, but I wasn't letting go, so cool.
Did you know the names of the security guys, and were you cool with any of them?
I was cool. Everybody, like, loved me. Production, security, I had my really crazy moments, but they knew it came from a meaning, I meant well all the time, so they all loved me.
You mentioned a couple times that you had destroyed TVs and stuff like that. What was going on, girl?
After that first fight, I was so mad. I got ran up on and that they didn't let me fight. I threw some cups at the TV. I was pissed because I wanted them to let me go she ran off with my hair, like ran down the steps and was out of there. So I'm like, let me go get me. I felt bad because one of my favorite producers, I actually jumped in her face like, bitch, you gonna let me go get my motherfucking hair? I'm gonna beat all y'all asses on the process. Y'all picked up that white girl hair, but y'all didn't pick up mine. Okay, cool. Y'all playing with me now. I think y'all playing with me. So now it's becoming, I jumped there when I had to apologize to her. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to come at you like that, but y'all be playing with me in here. I'm not playing.
I know that's right. So, a lot of the times, Sayora seemed to be like the only one that had men come to the house. So it was like, was she the only heterosexual in the house? And then when she brought men to the house, it seemed like everybody was hating on her company. Can you explain what was going on with that?
I wasn't paid to do a porno, So with to each his own. But if you wanted me to bust it wide open in front of them cameras, I was going to need a whole lot more money than we could get,
Right.
So, but cool. If you want to, that's what you do. I didn't give a fuck about the company. They never fazed me, nor did they. I know they always had an issue. She bought a couple of douchebags over that would always bring up everybody else's name but her own. Like, mind your business. You are not attached to any of the drama that goes on in this house. She had one, which is where you walking up on me, pipe it down comes from. Something else they didn't show. He was like, kept touching on me, first of all. He kept touching me.
Just the old one?
No, this was the light-skinned one. The old one was a creep too. Oh my God, he was like telling me to come in the bed with him. I'm like,
oh, what?
Yes, but so then she had these other guys come to the house, and one was for her, one was for Bree. I'm like, cool, okay, we all in the jacuzzi having fun, but the nigga keeps touching me. I had to move his hand off of my thighs a couple times, like, yo, don't touch me, please, thank you. So after I finally told him from the last time, like, yo, if I have to tell you again not to touch me, we're gonna have a problem. I think he kind of, he ain't like my bitch ass, and then he's like, I don't like this bitch. So then he proceeds to talk about, he wanted to know about the show, what's the basis, they're like East versus West. So he like, oh, the East Coast ain't about shit. I had some West Coast bitches come and bang on y'all right now. Who the fuck you talking to? Because you bring some bitches to this house, I'm going outside, and I'm going to have fun doing it too. So yeah, it kind of went from there. He got up in my face, so I'm like, oh, you walking towards me, you got me fucked up. Because out here, some of my fights have been boys, so a lot of them, probably a good 5 of them. Me and my sisters will jump a man in a heartbeat. So it was like, oh, you got me all the way fucked up. Don't play your company. Nasty.
Is this the situation where the producers asked the guy to leave, or was that a different situation?
That was a different one, because then that guy with the producer, they asked him to leave also. This time security came and broke us up, and they put him out. But that time he had to leave because that company stood up on Deshayla. Like, why are y'all men in here trying to beat for girls? I don't know what was wrong with them boys out there.
Do you understand why Susan was sent home, and do you think that it was fair?
No, I get it. I do. I wasn't mad. Like, I was upset when she went home, but I got it. And she got it too. Like, she was at that point, like, that girl used to fight in strip clubs. Like, fight. She grew up in South Central. So if she got a chance to really hurt that girl, she really would have. And it's like, ruin your life for what? One of these bitches? No.
Right.
It's her time to go.
When she left, it seemed like y'all had a kumbaya moment. Y'all had a little, oh, we're all going to get along. This is dumb. We shouldn't be fighting over the mess and all of that. How long did you think that was genuinely going to last?
I knew it was BS, but I had my conversation with who I needed to have a conversation with. Like, I let her know, like, cool, we're going to be cordial for the sake of the house, but it's going to come a day for what you did in that beauty room. I'm going to tell you to get up. I don't need to hear no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just give me my fair one, So once I had my conversations with who I needed to have, I let Fran know, don't you ever pick your feet up off the floor and kick me again.
Oh.
I was just kind of over it. I was like, cool, I was waiting for my moment.
Okay. So Miss Briana comes in the house. Susan leaves. Y'all have a couple good moments where y'all talking about, I don't want a replacement. Some people saying I do want a replacement. Can't wait till the new girl to come in. Yada yada yada. Briana comes in. She makes her grand entrance, and she comes in y'all room and she starts throwing ones in the air to let y'all know that she here. Finally, she here. What was going through your mind when the dollars was flying in the air?
I called the producer's phone. I said, can you turn my light back on? Turn my light off. I don't care. I didn't care. I didn't.
Do you feel like y'all were trying to get Bree on y'all side to go against the other girls?
I absolutely do not think that you were trying to get Bree on our side. I wasn't. I had no side. I really didn't care what she did. I told her up on the roof, of course, once again, something else they didn't show. They were telling her stuff, and she kind of looks at me for reassurance. Oh, they said they tried to jump her. So I guess she kind of looking at me like, so what you got to say? So I'm like, I don't got nothing to tell you. You're going to hang with who you want to hang with. I could care less. And I was back to tanning like I was doing, Nobody gave me no heads up. I'm not that type of person. Like, you're going to go and you're going to make friends with who you want to make friends with, but in due time, either you're going to show me who you are or you're going to see that I know what I'm doing.
I got you. Did you respect Bree for her kind of quote-unquote boss mentality when you watched the show and how she came in the house? She was kind of like her own female, her own woman, and she really wasn't picking sides. Do you respect her for how she entered the house?
Are you asking if I respect her? I don't think no, I have no. No, I didn't care, I didn't.
Okay.
You describe that. I didn't give a fuck.
Okay. Let's talk about that moment when Bree came in at at what appeared to be y'all when y'all were laying down after Key was making the noise on the steps or whatever the case may be. Okay, okay. So she comes in and she's like, "Look, y'all need to stop making this noise." Whoop de woo. What was going through your mind? And were you remotely nervous when you went up to go talk to her on the roof?
When I was woken up out of my sleep because the argument escalated. So now watching the argument take place, I'm like, oh, okay. It became an issue when I heard, you lead all of this shit. So I'm like, who the fuck is this bitch talking about? So now I gotta be in it. When you address one person, you address her. They didn't show it, but she told me mind my business. So when you see me throw the blanket over my head, I'm doing the little therapist thing that she gave me, like the count to I counting until I calm down. So I'm under the blanket like 1, 2, 3, fuck this shit. I'm going up on the roof. Hell no, I wasn't nervous. I was trying to do what my therapist told me to do and do the right thing. But she got me too fucked up. I feel like, she came in there, some people take it as a boss mentality. I feel like she came in there trying to prove a point real quick. Because at one point she was, bucking at everybody, but then she was like, she wanted everybody to be friends. It's like, which one is it?
Got you. What do you feel about, or how did you feel about Bree when she was pissing in the van? And have you ever pissed in a van before?
I don't think I've ever pissed in a van. However, once again, it was one of those things where I didn't give a fuck about, Now, if it doesn't concern me, if you got some pee on my foot, I would have socked you out the van while I was moving. But other than that, like, it was gross. Absolutely. Like, bitch, you could have waited. But to me, it wasn't like, I don't know. That whole fight was real etch a sketch. Because Fran wasn't the only person saying it was gross. I was saying it was gross. Kiki was saying it was gross. So when you just took Fran's gross and ran with it, I didn't really understand it.
Do you think her anger was misdirected and should have been directed towards Sayora for what had happened at the club that night? Or do you think that no one should have had a fight, if anything?
I think, once again, people was picking and choosing, You could have fought anybody. I said it was gross. I moved completely out of my seat because I was so grotesque about it.
Okay.
So when I seen her popping her nails off, I looked at Fran and I said, you need to hit me. Because I used to do that to bitches back in high school. I'm going to bite my nails off. Or bitches used to do that to me, bite their nails in their face when you fucked up. So I looked at her and I said, you might as well go hit her before she get all her nails off because I'm warning, so I can't do nothing about it.
Got you. It seemed like at one point when you talked to Fran, you kind of like had a little soft spot for her. What kind of conversation were you guys having about the whole altercation and how her face looked and all that?
She literally was like having a meltdown on the roof, like an anxiety attack. Like the producers were scared. Like she went to the hospital and everything. Like she was having a mental fucking breakdown. Like it was bad. So I felt bad because it's like, you're not a fighter. I did feel like she targeted Fran. So I felt bad for her, but what I was telling her, like, yo, your face is fucked up simply because of the jagged nails. But you didn't get your ass whooped. Like, the fight was kind of stupid. Like, it was a lot of this and then a lot of this. It was a real white girl looking fight. Like, if you look at it, you was like, oh, yeah, this looks like some white girls fighting. But, yeah, I was just trying to comfort her. Like, I get it. Like, this is not your thing. But, it's really not that bad. I did really like Fran. She actually reminded me of somebody that used to be a part of my life. I feel like she had a lot of potential.
Okay. Do you think that you kind of egged Kiana on to fight Bree, or do you think that Kiana fought Bree because she wanted to fight Bree?
She literally was screaming to the top of her lungs, I'm so fucking mad. Why would you? Let me tell you something. If that was my friend, I would have been on her before she even got to touch my friend. So I wasn't trying to instigate a fight. Absolutely not. I was being real. Like, yo, you keep crying, saying what you want to do. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Get out of my ear and go do it.
Got you.
So it wasn't me trying to be an instigator. But honestly, if that was my friend, I would have seen my friend's face, and I felt like my friend was so sweet and innocent that she should have never got touched. I got a friend that's not even 100 pounds. Ain't no bitch biting her nails and touching her, because I'm swinging. So if Fran was my friend at the time, we would have fought. Me and Bree would have fought that night, not her.
Okay, all
You would have
right.
never touched her because I know you're not that type of person, but I am. So cool, I'll take the fade for you. But however, like I used to tell Fran all the time, just like in the kitchen when she said good morning, asshole. Once again, they didn't show. I looked at Fran and I said, you know what? I'll protect you if somebody's just picking with you. But when you do stuff like that and you talking shit, I can't protect you because if you talk shit, you better be able to swing that same shit.
Right. Okay. I can respect that definitely. Kiana then turns on Bree after this whole altercation situation, and it seems like Fran doesn't like Bree, Kiana doesn't like Bree, and then Kiana seems like she's wanting to feed Kiera some information about Bree, and that whole situation was going on. What were your thoughts?
That was like one of me and Key's probably second arguments because I'm in the kitchen and it was annoying me. I go over by the thing and I'm just looking at Key and she could tell I was looking at her with disgust. And she's like, "Why are you looking at me like that?" Sorry.
No, you good.
Answer and tell them I'm doing it.
No, you good.
So, do I need to repeat the whole thing?
No, you can continue.
Okay, so I go over by the window and I'm kind of looking at Key with disgust because I'm like, you really biting what she feeding you right now. And I don't like it.
Right.
Because when I met you, you're making me feel like I might have prejudged how real you are, you know? Because that's the only reason I was rocking with her, because she was real. You know, I liked her personality, but she was real at the end of the day.
Right.
They're like, her and Shay, like, what's wrong with y'all? I'm like, because y'all not paying attention. These girls were just doing this shit to us about a week ago. There is absolutely, and this is exactly what I said to Kiki and Fran, why they're all right there. Y'all bitches tried to tag team me. You can tell me the sky's blue and I'm going to go outside and check because nothing you bitches say hold no weight to me. So it was disappointing for me to see them kind of biting that shit. And we knew better. Y'all just feel like y'all can't beat her. And if anybody in that house could do it, it would probably be me or her. So yeah, I didn't like that situation at all. That was one of the situations that kind of like made me gravitate a little towards Bree and a little less towards everybody else.
Okay. What do you think about the altercation that Sayora and Kiana got into because Sayora didn't help Fran?
Them bitches is team jumper hoe. You surprised that they did that? You know, one jump, the other got to jump too. I think that was so stupid. I actually didn't see it. I'm glad I didn't see it. I was seeing it the first time when everybody else was seeing it. Holy shit.
What were your thoughts? Well, you said I was about to ask you what were your thoughts when you saw Kia.
Where if you would have did and I would have accidentally slit your throat, what would I have done? Been sitting in jail because you socked me across? Ain't no motherfucking way we would still be friends.
I was feeling bad for Sayora because her face seems to be connected to these hands throughout the whole season, and I'm just like, what's going on?
You would have thought she had one side of the magnet and somebody had the other side the way she was getting. No, I felt bad. When I saw that, I was like, damn. But
yeah.
You go, oh, you feel so bad, they friends.
So once again, you know, the girls become cool after everything's said and done. You know, Fran fights Bree again, and Kiera fights Kiana in the confessional, and they become friends again after, you know, everything is all said and done. Why do you think people were egging Fran on to fight Bree that last time?
Because they were talking so much shit. Like, the girl couldn't walk out of the room. She had then became the Susan. She couldn't walk out of the room. She couldn't do anything. They all of them went up on the roof, and I had an asthma attack that day when they fought. So I was in bed. After bubble soccer, you notice I kind of disappeared. I had an asthma attack at bubble soccer, ended up going to the hospital, and then I went home and lay down. Apparently at bubble soccer, the girls had been picking with Bree again all day. And a bunch of just unnecessary stuff. So Key's up on the roof with them, and I told her, she asked me if I want to come. I said, I'm not coming up there with y'all because in the day I don't like them. The friend thing was still kind of like, we were cordial. We weren't friends, so I wish I would go sit and pretend to be your friend over a mutual dislike,
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I really didn't dislike Bree. But it was like so much shit being talked that you needed to do something. They literally was talking about the bitch all day. Y'all might as well have been fighting all day,
Mm.
That's why they were kind of egging it on, because their mouths are so vicious that you would think that they be swinging most of the time.
Okay. So then we get to the Vegas trip, because I want to kind of wind down on this interview. I've had you for quite some time. I want to talk about this Vegas trip, then I want to wrap it up with the reunion. So we get to the Vegas trip, and at this point, how can I say, I'm kind of like all over the damn place with y'all.
Nobody liked each other at that point.
Right.
The divide had never been so clear after Vegas. It was getting to the last few weeks. We were ready to go home. At that point, lines were strong. There was no longer any more straddling the fence after Vegas.
Got you. So congratulations on. Let me ask you, this brother Hopper. Okay, now come on now.
Let me tell you something. The producers never told me that he was married with children. I found out when I got home that he was married with children. And his wife under the post where I was like, let me keep in my pants.
Ooh.
So imagine so Hopper was amazing to me. I did have a big crush on Hopper, but let me say this, I've never had such a positive male figure in my life. Ever.
Okay.
Not my dad, not anybody. So yes, I thought he was very cute, but I put that to the side because he saw so much in me. He really does care about me. He saw so much more than I saw in myself.
Gotcha.
So it made me gravitate towards him more like a father figure than it did, a relationship type thing. Me and Hopper are still absolutely friends. He gave me, he was the first man to look at me and see something other than sex and see, such high hopes. My dad doesn't have very high hopes for me. He knows that my attitude is terrible. So they're kind of I have a lot of people in my life who have kind of seen me act out so bad that they're kind of done with me, but I was done with them anyway, so I could care less. But Hopper was one person who I could have told him that I fought, and he was like, no way. He saw innocence in me, I had this really hard exterior, and I'm really, really, like, raw and uncut, but he saw innocence in me, so it made me appreciate him on a whole different level other than the fact that he was attractive.
Okay, because Mona was like, you should have hopped on Hopper. You should have hopped on. So
definitely, I did. The dynamic changed so much, and they didn't show that. He literally became like a comfort for me in that house. When I left the house and we spoke, Hopper is like probably the biggest reason I owe him a big thank you, because he's probably the main reason I remained in the house for so long.
Got you, because that would explain your reaction when he walked in to the venue. I was like, oh, that's so pretty, that's so nice.
I was because they were telling me he wasn't coming. He told me that he couldn't make it, and I was panicking like I ain't never DJed before. Yes, I got really good at it in an amount of time I did, but that's because I love music. I have very extensive music taste. I've always been obsessed with stuff like that. But Hopper was like, he was so amazing.
Yeah, that was.
He's a very spiritual person, and he helped me get out of my own way.
That's what's up. That was one of the best moments I thought of that particular season, when he walked out and kind of shed a little tear or whatever have you. And I was like, oh, look at Seven being so sensitive.
That's like the first time they actually showed me being sensitive, and it really was like a weight off of my shoulders. I was so nervous about this DJ shit. So when he walked in, I was like, oh, holy fuck. And the tears I was having a terrible day. I was getting into it with the producers all day.
Oh, Lord Jesus. So, we get the bad news about Kiera's family passing. And you don't even know anything about it until you actually go into the room and her mom tells her, all crying. You're like, yeah, you just turned it. And she's, breaking down, having her moment. Now, I'm assuming that the whole atmosphere kind of took a decline down after that when you guys got into the bus. When did the girls find out what had happened?
In the bus, I had told them because they were like talking and they were pissed because we had to leave the club. They were cursing out the producers. They were doing a lot. The producer stood up like, if you say one more thing to me, we're going to have a problem. She wasn't playing that shit at that point. So I'm like, oh, yes, girl, because that was my favorite producer. Like, the other group was really nasty that night. Like, so I'm like, can y'all chill out? Like, we just had something real serious happen. We don't need that tonight. Y'all crying about leaving a fucking club. The producers that night had took liquor from them and everything. They weren't really allowed to drink during the Vegas trip because their liquor made them so obnoxious. So, yeah, they were pissed about not being able to drink anymore and having to leave the club and how they wanted to go home because they don't got no rules and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, shut up, we having a moment.
Right. Okay.
So it escalated from there, which is more so how the Bree and Key situation started. Because Key stood up like, if y'all talk to these producers disrespectful one more time, I'm going to fuck y'all up, you know? Because we were so appreciative to just have that moment.
Right.
But they feel the same appreciation for the producers because they really didn't do anything.
Okay. So basically what I'm hearing is that kind of was the lead up for Kiera's aggravation at the hotel.
What does it say? I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good.
So yeah, that was kind of the build up to what happened in the hotel room. You know, but of course they couldn't show that because it was involving producers. Right. But that is what initiated the Key and the Bree headbutt. It was like the perfect opportunity, you know?
So did you have the opportunity to kind of tell Key to chill before she approached Bree, or were you not around, or did you not know what was going to happen?
Yeah, so I went and got in the shower as soon as I got into the hotel room. And I get out the shower and everything must have already transpired, but I'm looking. Shay, Kiki, and Bree are in the room. And Shay's like, no. We're not going to fight. Shay has the situation calm down. And then Kiki comes in and Kiki's like, yo, she's outside talking mad shit right now. Mad shit. So everybody thinks I was fighting her because she was laughing. I wanted to fight her because she instigated. And you could see they left out a lot, but any person with two eyes, I feel like, could see that she instigated it. The situation, Bree was completely calm. Bree was like, you know what, fuck it, we don't ever gotta say too many more words to each other. It only gets back heated when Kiki comes into the back room and she's like, she's talking mad shit, yada, 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 yada. Then Bree comes out the room and she's like, well, what is she saying? And then boom, it explodes from there. So once again, it was another case of you throwing shit and now you're trying to hide your hands, but I caught it. I caught you.
Yes. So that's why you were upset behind the whole situation.
Because honestly, the fight would have never happened if she didn't come in that room. Shay had Bree so calm. Bree was like, cool. And I'm looking at Bree like, you know what, this bitch might not be that bad because she's saying fuck the beef for right now. She just lost her uncle. We just don't got to say two words to each other again.
Got you.
Somebody has to come and instigate the whole situation.
Okay. So, child, y'all get back to, y'all leave the Vegas trip. Y'all get back after this fight that ensued. You try to go after Kiana. The security is there. So, y'all...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That wasn't before we left the hotel in the morning. I looked at Key and I said, you better fight her. I don't know what else you're going to do, but you better do something. Because I know I'm about to fight Kiki. Key didn't insinuate the fight. I decided that, you know.
Okay.
I decided I was going to be Kiki up. And I let her know as a friend, like, you know, them punches, they look stupid as shit. If anybody thinks that she got beat up that night, I don't know what to tell nobody. Like, you know, this is not, you know. Right. But I did tell her, like, yo, you better redeem yourself.
Okay. So y'all get back to the house. You putting on head nets and head bond, wrapping the hair up, got the tennis shoes, the Vaseline to the side. Y'all ready to go. Like y'all about to go do a workout at the gym. And these girls come in, and right out the gate, you go walking towards her, and you say the infamous line, "What's funny?" And then you just go, what was going through your mind, girl?
So we were sitting in the room. We heard them come in. Deshayla and Key was like, "Who going first?" I don't do no talking bye. Here's the part that's getting ready to be the gag, because since everybody feel like it's a sneak, I walked, you see how I kind of walked closer to Bree first because I was looking in the room because we thought Kiki was in the room. So Kiki saw me first. She started laughing when she saw my fighting clothes. She laughed. She was like, ha! So that's why I walked up and was like, oh, what's funny? Something funny?
Oh.
That's funny from the hotel. She laughed when she saw my fighting clothes. So, bitch, you had time to laugh. You should have put your shit down. I don't know where y'all bitches from, but I know, number one, Bree should have knew Key was coming next. Because if I see one bitch coming out the room in fighting clothes, I'm up. I would have dropped my shit. And then number one, Kiki saw me coming. So it ain't my fault you ain't a real enough bitch to know to drop your shit. What the fuck I'm gonna say? Let's titty bump first. Let's point at each other's face first. Let's argue first. No.
So you don't think now. You don't think Kiera snuck Bree. You gonna look at that footage and say it wasn't a sneak?
She looked right at her. And like I said, I don't think it was a sneak. And I'm being real with you because if me and my friend got beef with somebody and I see the person she got beef with walk with fighting clothes, I'm dropping everything already off rip. I mugged Bree. You could kind of see from the camera angle that my head goes up and down. So if I didn't give her the tip off, something should have. She looks back. I definitely think that she had a little less time to get ready, but y'all gotta understand, they break them fights up in 2.5 seconds. I'm getting my point across before they get in it this time, you know?
Gotcha.
I don't think if she had any more time, that fight would have went any other way, honestly. If you watch the hotel room fight, when Key actually realizes what happens and she turns to start swinging, you can see whose punches are more powerful anyway.
Okay. So the fight happens. The fight is broken up. Y'all get sent to a hotel, and then y'all are told that y'all are leaving. According to your post-confessional, you were excited about it. You was like, you did what you came to do. You had your DJ trip. It was what it was. Deuces.
I was so happy to get the fuck out of there. The producers were like, we're so insulted because we really love you. But I've never seen you so happy other than the moment when they set us down first and they said, so after the altercation that took place, we're going to have to send you home. She was like, no, but I'm like, shh, shut your ass up. Thank you so much for the opportunity. My bag's upstairs. They were in shock because there's never been a bad girl in history that had thanked us for getting sent home. I was like, thank you so much for the opportunity. Is my luggage upstairs? I went upstairs
all right.
What's left for me to do?
So we get to this reunion, and before the reunion, some girls had the opportunity to Twitter thug and Instagram thug and so forth and so on. It's kind of hard to keep up, but it seemed like it was on both sides. Huh?
And didn't come to the reunion thugging in real life.
Oh. So we get to this reunion, and what was going through your mind as you're approaching the reunion, and it's this build up?
Yeah. So I'm on the way to the reunion, and I remember bitches talking about where I stay on Twitter, Periscope, and Instagram, who I'm sleeping with, what I wear, what I do. I recall Bree and Kiki constantly talk between them and their friends. I don't know who said the most, but I constantly remember them concerned about where I live at, what I do during my day, where I go to work at, So I'm coming to the reunion like bet because I argue with them. I'm not an internet arguer at all. I don't do that shit. But I did argue with them because I knew there was going to come a time where I can reach out and touch them. So when I got to the reunion time, I'm like, bet, I hope everybody talking that same shit they've been talking on the internet because I'm coming to fight. I came with a braid. That wasn't on accident. I could have had my hair nice and down, I came to do one thing. All that shit them bitches did for entertainment on social media was not cool because now, I'm looking like I'm bullying y'all bitches, but really y'all been sitting trying to defame me on social media, I done had to throw stats on camera because y'all bitches want to talk about a bitch being broke or y'all want to talk about a bitch acne. Where is it now? Acne is curable. The fact that you bitches not about that life is not, So I'm coming to the reunion thinking everybody gonna be off the same shit. Bet we've been talking shit on social media. Let's get it popping.
Okay. What did you think about meeting or your interaction with Tanisha? Was that Was that like a highlight for you? Was she cool with you?
Erica and Tanisha was so accepting towards me. They both expressed to me how like they really liked me as a bad girl. They liked what I stood for. They liked who I was. They were amazing. But they kept trying to remind me like, yo, Major Erica told me, she was like, one thing I regretted what I went on TV and did. She was like, you made your point, you know? Everybody knows not to fuck with you. Your city respects you. She had said Harlem appreciates you so much, and I had to remind her, you know, I'm not from there. Well, I'm from there. I spent a lot of time there, but I was really repping for DC, where I run around at. And they were really like, they were appreciative of what I did, and that was appreciative to me because Erica Min is somebody that I've kept up with for a long time, and Tanisha was somebody who I really liked on her season.
Okay.
So it reassured me because I hadn't seen anything that I did something right.
Okay. I will say that I appreciate, and I'm glad that the second half of the whole reunion was all about Susan. But it gave her the opportunity to actually explain herself and clear up the whole marriage crap and all of that. And I was like, okay, well now shit is making sense. Now I understand where you're coming from, girl. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, I would do the same shit too if my husband had 2 wives and 1 pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So she got the opportunity to explain herself. But why do you think that whole side of the couch was after Susan?
For one simple reason. Who was you going to come for, me or Keith? That's going to be a hard, you know, if you had to weigh your option of any person to pick on that couch, who would you pick?
Okay.
It was one of those things. That's what I think because, you know, just how like Bree came out attacking her and then, you know, we made it clear Susan ain't fighting no more. So if y'all want to fight her, y'all going to have to beat one of us and then go get her. Nobody took that. You know, nobody bit for that.
How do you feel about Kiera walking off, walking back, walking off, walking back, walking off, walking back?
It pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because that jump could have been way worse. And you wasn't there. So, yeah, I had to let her know, like, no more walking off. Because if that happens again and it goes another way, we're going to have problems. Like, I didn't like it. But she was, you know, she had saw the first 2 episodes. And she was disappointed in herself.
Gotcha.
So she's fighting with herself at the reunion.
Right. And that was clear as day. You could see that there was a battle that she was having with herself.
At that point, you can't take it back.
Right.
So fuck.
Right. So how did you well, we know how you felt when you saw that Kiana had inserted herself into a fight between Fran and Susan. And Fran wasn't even at that point, she wasn't even in the fight. She had already got away, and it was down between Susan.
No, I had a hold of her. I'm so sorry. Let me finish.
No, you good.
Okay. I had a hold of Fran is who I had a hold of. So when you kind of see me like down under, I couldn't get to Kiki, so I was pulling down at Fran. So that's how Fran kind of ended up on the floor. Because I pulled her there. Pissed about that. I was tired of that shit because, number one, Susan was going for Kiki, but when Fran pushed her down and got up, I'm swinging on the first bitch that's up. They need to learn to mind their business. Just like when I was going for Bree and they both stood up and I had to look at them like, what the fuck are y'all standing up for?
Right. Okay.
So, no, that type of shit is weak. It's weak. It looks weak. Anybody who thought it was funny or thought it was cute is just as weak as the bitches.
Did you agree with Tanisha when she stated that she thought that Bree was phony for going after Susan, a girl that she doesn't know, versus going after Key?
Absolutely. Because the whole world still feels like you got snuck. She clearly still feels like she got snuck because she may have said one thing at the reunion, but now she's saying a totally different thing on social media. So why would you not, you know, at least Kiki, you know, that bitch can't fight for shit, but at least she came out and got fucked, you know, at least. I think that's the only moment anybody felt proud of her the entire season. Like, oh, bet you felt like you was snuck, even though she absolutely was not snuck, you know. I even gave her some words before I touched her. She still put her best foot forward to try.
I love it. I love your confidence, girl. I love it. You are, listen, out of all of the seasons, you are definitely one of my favorites in this particular season. Like, I like you remind me of Jay Lamina. You remind me of the Claremont twins. Like just real, not afraid to speak their mind, and
Yeah.
then keep it 100 with whoever you have to keep it 100 with. So definitely respect you for that.
Oh yeah, yeah. The reunion definitely was interesting. I see. Oh, I watched your last interview. Everybody kept telling me to watch it. You know, when you were like, I wonder why Seven doesn't press Bree. Did you like what you saw?
Yeah, yeah. It was. I was like, okay, she getting up because what was funny for me or interesting, let me say, was when he was like, if you put me out there with Kiki, a friend, it's going down. It's going down. You were. It was a boiling point. You were getting heated. But then when you came out and everything was going on with Bree and Susan, and everybody was having issues with Susan.
Give my attention.
And
Because, like I said, I was just a broke bitch, athlete, bitch this, bitch that. So I wanted to see where all that excited. You know, you coming at Susan, but I done seen that you felt some type of way towards me, so what's up?
it was, you got beef? You got beef, so what's up? You got beef, so what's up? You got beef? And you stood up. I was like, okay, Seven, that's what's up.
If people had just moved a little closer, we could at least do a couple punches before,
Okay.
I guess people, and even still, when I'm trying to come around the couch, you're trying to go get Susan. That makes no sense.
So I interviewed the girls. I interviewed Kiana and Bree. And in the interview, they stated that they have no issues with Kiera. That at that particular time when I did the interview, that they were cool. How do you feel about that? How did you feel about them hugging at the end?
She knows I didn't like it. She knows I don't like that shit. What are we, you saw what I did when they were doing their kumbaya, let's be friends. Peace.
Right.
I don't owe you bitches nothing. Because what did they do after the reunion? They right back on social media talking shit. Now they talking to themselves because you can't talk to me. I'm on a whole different level. We did the same show, but it's a whole different level.
Got you.
No, I told Key, like, you sitting there befriending them bitches for what? What reason? In real life, we would have never came across each other. So in what world do I need? What does me making peace with you bitches, what does it do for me?
Got you. Do you feel that Kiera got a bad rap this particular season?
Absolutely. And I think that's why she, tried to make friends and make peace. But at the end of the day, there's nothing that we can do about anything that was shown,
Got you.
Absolutely nothing we can do about it. Other than this, you can try to do an interview, but you gotta take it. People think I was a follower. That don't change the way my money coming in.
I know that's right, girl. You got over 160,000 followers on Instagram. You doing it? Hey. So what's changed? Do you regret anything from this particular season on your behalf?
Absolutely not. I regret nothing. Honestly, like I said, I can't help what they chose to show, but anytime I felt the type of way, I spoke up. Nothing's really changed. I'm more like to myself now. I'm not really, I just got paid to slap bitches. Y'all bitches want to fight me. You want my PayPal information first? Nothing's changed. My vibe is so much different. The therapist helped. I'm at peace in life. I'm honestly just focused on making money. I just want to make some money. I just want to be happy. I just want to be with my family.
Are you doing the DJ thing?
I am. I played around with a DJ set in the club once, but I'm not like, I feel like everything should be done right. I've been practicing. I feel like, when I'm ready, I'm going to come out into the DJ world. I learned how to DJ within a month, and I learned so much in a month. However, when I do come out and start branding myself as a DJ, it'll be when I'm icy on them sets. Like,
I know that's right. I know that. What would you say to the girls that are watching this interview and the girls that have seen you on the show about the concept of therapy? Because people think that when you have a therapist that you're psychotic, you're crazy, you're insane, and that some people kind of shun it. They look down at it. So what would be your advice?
When they presented therapy to me, I was like, hell no, there's nothing wrong with me. It's everybody else, and it's not me. And another thing was, I'm not about to sit and tell a stranger my business, but sometimes it helps to just say it, I didn't spend that much time with a therapist. Once I signed that confidentiality agreement and I realized I could sue your ass if you tell anybody what I told you, I literally started from day one, when everything in life started going wrong, whether it was, my abusive relationship with my father or whatever it was, but I started from day one and I went down to where I was at that moment. And she looked at me and she said, I just want to hug you. And that was one of the few times where, I told somebody everything that has happened to me. I'm in tears because I'm saying everything that's ever happened in life, everything I've ever been through. And I knew she couldn't throw it back in my face. But she was in tears herself. And she just got up and she gave me a hug. And we really didn't talk about anything else after that. But I think to just say it and get it out. And sometimes it just feels so good to say it. And also, it helped me, I pretty much helped myself. But it was what I was saying to her. It was thankfully she helped me feel so comfortable to say it to her. Because she then asked me questions like, well, how do you feel about your dad? Well, how do you feel about this person? And I caught myself saying, I know where I'm at in life, what life has done to me, and it's made me do some really bad things because of the things that I've been through. I don't hate him or anybody that's hurt me because I don't know what you went through, what life did to you to make you this way. So I'm sitting there like, oh shit, I don't hate him. I don't hate anybody. Whatever happened between us, it's okay. Because I don't know what you went through in life. I know I've hurt some people because I was hurting. So I don't know who hurt you. But I won't add to the hurt anymore just because I'm hurting, So it kind of was like I was growing up. I grew up a lot from the show. Those 2 months being so attached from the world, I was only stuck to deal with myself. I've never been stuck to deal with myself so much. I've been through things like depression. I was suicidal at one point, So when I was stuck to deal with myself, I thought I was going to kill myself. I was my life is so sad. Thinking about it every day, I think I used to go in the shower and cry almost every day. Every time I got in the shower, I think I would cry it out because I didn't want them to see me doing it in front of the camera. But it helped me fix myself. I hated being in that house. It helped me get through whatever, my defense is always to go to fighting, always fight. If I didn't leave for that show, honestly, I probably would be dead or in jail, So
wow.
It really changed my life in so many ways because the lifestyle I was living was so wrong, but it was because I ain't known nothing else. I was hurt and I was hurt by what happened to me. I was hurt by what was happening to me. People were trying to hurt me and I'm a hurt, my thing is we're fighting, beef is real for me because I'm thinking you're going to try to hurt me, so I'm making sure you all the way out the way and can't do that. So yeah, the show, the therapy, a lot of it really helps me take it back and take a look at myself. You're not living right. I'd never understood when people said to me, you have so much potential and you don't even use it. But I've never understood that phrase so much more than when I was on that show. You have all this potential. Instead, you outside fighting, get jumped.
Right.
Dangerous situations, retaliating because of the danger, I wasn't living right.
Okay. Well, that's honorable and commendable. I commend you for taking the step forward and not backward and showing progression, especially for yourself. Because you're at a tender age, but you give a lot of maturity as well and wisdom at your age. So congrats on that. The last thing I want to ask you about the show, where we'll do a little quick close off to the interview, is Deshayla. Now, my character she was like the butt of all my character's jokes because it was just easy to target her during my reviews. But my question to you is, I kind of felt bad for her at the end. I could say that I think I understood where she was coming from because she was placed in a situation where she felt like she couldn't be herself. And you and Key have such dominating personalities and commanding personalities, so she couldn't assert herself in that arena. But when you guys were absent, she felt like she could be herself and assert herself amongst the other girls. Now, I don't know if you saw the episode where she was actually crying and she was in the confessional and she was hurt when y'all had left, because they didn't show that during the reunion, or at least we didn't see them show that during the reunion. We only saw her like party it out and have fun with them. So did you see that episode where she actually cried? Okay, so what is your closing thoughts about Deshayla?
You know, my thing about Deshayla is, like I said, I was having a really big struggle, a push-pull with them on open up. You know, they were begging me to open up. I'm the type of friend, like I said, if I see that something's going on, I'm going to speak up. There was a lot of times where me and Key were butting heads about the way she talked to her. So if you never felt comfortable with anybody, you felt comfortable with me. Because I wouldn't let anything happen to you. I wouldn't let her talk to you any kind of way. Whenever I felt it was getting too much, I was like, okay, y'all fucking tripping. Like, they're on the ride to Vegas. I let they ass have it so bad. So bad. Because they were in an argument. They were in such a bad argument that even I was pissed at Deshayla. But I had to let her know, like, yo, you a whole wild bitch, because I really started y'all wild to me, because I really opened up to y'all and I really started to fuck with y'all, and y'all sitting here beefing so bad that y'all not saying 2 words to each other, and this is why. This is exactly why I don't open up to people, because something's gonna go wrong. Something's gonna happen. You either gonna cross me or some stupid shit like this will happen. So y'all are hurting my feelings at this point that y'all are even doing this. It took me so long to get comfortable with y'all. Now I'm uncomfortable again. So we patched that up. Deshayla's absolutely irrelevant to me. Nobody hurt a stranger. Them bitches, Kiki, Bree, nothing any of them say can hurt me. It does absolutely nothing for me. It affects my life in no way. It doesn't anger me. It doesn't make me want to cry. Nobody can hurt me more than the people who I care about can. Because it's not very few people I care about. I can probably count on the hand of 5 people that I actually care about, and that's including family. Like, I have a very tight-knit, like, I'm just my sister, my best friend, my mother. Like, I have a very tight-knit circle. So the people that I love, they can break my heart, you know? Those are the only people whose opinion means anything to me. So when I saw her say, you know, I'm glad they're gone, I had more fun than I had with any of you, you know, with y'all than I've ever had with them. We had some really fun times. It was fun for me. It was real for me. So when I saw her say that, those tears at the reunion, like, I see some people saying, oh, bitch, like, you're such a good actor. That's real for me. Because I don't open up to people. I opened up to that girl, and she showed me exactly why you have to be so careful, you know? That I have nothing to say to her. She means nothing to me. Like, she the type of person, like, just stay away from me. I was just in Norfolk this weekend doing a show. They showed so much love, but she knows the type of person I am, because she stayed away from me. I don't like shit like that. Don't cross me. A bitch I don't like can't cross me, because bitch I don't even like you. But a bitch I like, you can cross me. That hurt my fucking feelings real bad too.
Okay, I feel you. I completely understand. I really do. Do you think that she was a punk for not coming to the reunion?
Absolutely. But I mean, I would have been just slapped her. So I could kind of see, you know, her direction she was coming from. But I think, like, you know, because we talked before the reunion. We all were on the phone on 3-way. And what I said was, because Key was done with her at that point. What I said was, I don't know about Key. I can't speak for her. But what I'm going to say to you is, tell me now. Tell me now anything that I'm going to see, anything that's going to throw me off. Tell me. So when that reunion day comes, I can be like, I know that. She apologized for that. It's cool.
Right.
When you chose not to say anything, and then you're like, oh, I can't wait to see y'all at the reunion, bitch, you knew you wasn't coming.
Right.
So you just was digging your grave. You digging your grave. Now the coffin on it, your name on it, and I can give a fuck about you.
I know that's right. So we're going to close off this reunion with choose one. What I do is give you 2 options. You have to pick one. You can't say both, and you can't say neither. You have to pick one or the other.
Ask me some wild shit.
So let's start this off. Okay, first one. Would you pick who would you choose? Beyonce or Destiny's Child?
Beyonce.
Okay. Kiera or Susan?
Susan.
Okay.
Oh.
Bad Girls Club or The Real World?
Never watched The Real World, so loud. I mean,
all right.
Bad Girls Club.
All right. East Coast or West Coast? Okay. August Alsina or Chris Brown?
I like girly boys like that, so we don't go with Chris Brown because he's the closest.
Okay. Are you single right now? Let me ask that. Oh, yes. Okay. Get it, girl. Get it. Is it with a guy or a girl?
I am with a guy. I'm really, really happy.
Oh, look at her. She blushes. Look at her. That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay. Family or friends?
Family.
Okay.
And if you stay loyal enough, long enough, you end up being that anyway as a friend, so.
Okay. Miami or New York?
Miami. I like the sun.
Okay.
And I've been up and down from New York. That's like my second home.
Okay. Briana or Deshayla?
Ooh, I knew they was gonna start to get tough. Just kidding. Brie had a lot of potential for me to like her. She did. I will say that. Like, she was so likable. She gave me a very real vibe, but it was the way she carried herself that probably threw me off the most. So I'll say Brie just because I like how real she was.
Okay.
It was just we could have probably honestly be friends. We could have been friends if I was more like Sayora probably, but I'm very you ain't gonna see me being butt so ratchet.
Okay. Girl trip or guys trip?
Vacation or girls trip? Say. I have a lot of girlfriends. I just don't have any friends. So, guys trip, would that mean me and Bay, or would that mean I have a lot of boyfriends? So,
okay.
My mentality, people are trying to figure out what I remind them of, and if you really think about it, I act like a boy. My boo says that all the time, your personality is one of a guy because you're not messy as shit. But girls trip.
Okay. Skateboard or surfboard?
I wish they would have showed you when me and Fran went surfing on the show. It was so fun. I love my longboard to death, but I would definitely want to keep trying surfing. I was really good at it. I stood up a lot of times.
Okay. Music or movies?
Music. I'm such a musical person. Music can fix your life if you're allowed to.
Okay. So, what type of guy do you like?
Everybody thinks that I just like hood niggas, and it's not about, liking hood guys. Excuse me, I'm a nigga word. But I like somebody as thorough as me. At the end of the day, you need to match my loyalty. And when I say loyalty, I don't mean faithfulness and shit. I mean loyalty. We need to be here, all the way, just be thorough. I like a thorough guy, straight to the point. You gotta be like me. And that's why I said I feel like I met my match, because I think that we love each other so much because we're so much alike, We're very real with each other. We're very raw with each other. We're very honest with each other. We're very loyal to each other. Very loyal to each other. And I'm not talking about he's so loyal, he don't fuck with them bitches. I ain't stupid. Okay? But nobody can hurt him. Nobody can hurt me. So it's a thoroughness. I'm attracted to a thorough man. Be about your shit.
So Waka Flocka or The Game?
Waka Flocka.
Okay, all right. That's what's up.
Thorough man. That's a thorough guy.
Okay.
Waka Flocka.
Well, I want to thank you so much for doing this long ass interview. I think this is the longest interview I've ever done in all of the BGC interviews.
It's your most viewed interview ever.
Yes, because you done said some. Yeah, you done said some shit up in here, and you cleared up a lot, honestly. And thank you for your good, sportsmanship, because a lot of people get all personal with my Mona reviews, and they like, oh, this motherfucker, oh, this motherfucker.
I said I was gonna pick with you about it, but I didn't take it personal because I looked at it I think about everything from perspective. I was looking at it like, y'all let me fuck up the way y'all made me look.
Yeah. Editing is really crazy, and over the years I've heard some of the most insane, just ridiculous stories about what goes on in the house. Yeah. So, but yeah, thank you for that. I'm gonna let you get back to your life and what you got going on, Miss Beautiful Thing. Is your boyfriend in the room? Who's that in the room?
Nobody's in the room. We couldn't have been able to been on here for this long if my man was in the room.
Right. Okay. Well,